Hi friends, Miss Art Garden here. Today we're going to do a fancy let's draw. So we're going to draw a character, figure, and then put them in fancy clothes. I thought it'd be kind of fun. So first thing we need to do is draw a figure. So we'll start with a circle. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then we'll draw in some kind of face shape. So we'll need a middle of the face line, vertical line, and then a horizontal line. I'm going to bring in, when I do the face shape, starting about the end of this circle, you might indent a little bit here and then come out. And then a little bit under the bottom of the circle, you'll have your jaw line, and then it'll fit down at this angle and then go into the chin. And then on this side, I'm going to bring it in a bit because it's a little bit teardropped, but if you've drawn a better circle than me, you shouldn't have to. This has a jaw line too, but it's a little bit more smoother the way we're drawing it. So we'll have the face shape like that. Okay, and so I don't confuse anybody, I'll erase that so you can see what I'm going for. In fact, this might need to come out a bit when I do my final. So we got this shape down. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be there to help you form your final drawing. Okay, so now we'll draw a neck. Let's bring like kind of under the jawline here, which I've kind of messed up. I feel like I need to define it for the tutorial. There we go. Little jawline here. This one will come out here, and then this other one will come out under the chin. And then we have a neck. I'll draw on the shoulders, so I often draw like a little thing here, and then I think about like maybe where the shoulders might be. That's actually a little far. So this shoulder here, and then this, she's turned a little bit, so this shoulder might be down here in a way. So let me see if I can explain this. It goes down a little bit because we're gonna see more of this shoulder, and this shoulder will be hidden away a little bit. I might move this out a tiny bit and move this over a tiny bit down. So you just kind of get it till the placement looks right. Especially if you're starting out, you're just gonna need to kind of find what looks good. Okay, so that'll do for now. Now we are going to have a kind of a circle like that to keep in mind, maybe a little bit higher. Keep in mind that's her shoulder, clavicle, and all that. And then starting about here will be her bosom. So we'll sketch in something like that. You can add an action line if you want. She's just pretty static. But you can bend one out so you don't draw your character so straight and unmovable. Okay, so that's her bosom. And then you have the kind of waist area here. And then this side, I'm gonna have go in a bit and then pop out a bit. I didn't leave much room for like a skirt. I'm gonna shrink my drawing a little bit just so I can fit in some kind of frilly skirt, at least the start of one down here. Okay, so that's the kind of idea. If you need to break it up more, you can do like a waist area here, what pinches in, and out here. And if you're drawing like a more voluptuous woman, you still wanna have some indent here, but you could probably, you know, work a little bit more on the curves and stuff. But I'm gonna just draw her kind of slim this time around. I'll give her some wider hips, why not? Have a little bit of a middle ground there. Okay, so the next thing I like to do is kind of like think about like where her, you know, hip bones are, and then I kind of draw in like underwear shape. Let me turn my brush size up a bit. So like, you know, if you were wearing underwear, the holes of the legs would go there, and then you'd have the other area down here, and then that would go up. You know, if it was actually underwear, you could see it like that. And that kind of helps me keep track of the legs. I'm not going to draw the legs in too much because we're gonna have her in a dress, but if you wanted to know, you could have some legs, something like that. Okay, and then the arm here, and then I have this shoulder here. This one's actually gonna go a little bit over that area. The elbow kind of matches up with the waist area typically, and let's have this one stand out a bit. So you can, you know, kind of joint them in like that. Let's have this one come up, maybe nicer composition. Composition, that's the word. We found it. And then this one can go down and maybe like behind the skirt or so. And we'll draw in the arm shapes here, kind of like sausages. They are a little bit more meaty in places. In fact, this one should go into that area a little bit more. And when we draw this, we'll get it a little more properly shaped. But for now we have that, and let's move this over here so I can fit a hand in. Maybe her hand will be out like this, you know, and her fingers will be here. I'm gonna have to shrink it a little bit more to fit her in because right now I'm making her arm a little bit too small. So hand about, it should go over your face. Her face is a little bit long, and then her fingers might be doing something here. Just sketching in the general idea. All right, so we get that there, and we will refine it. I'm actually, like I said, gonna move my head shape down. I might have drawn it a little bigger. Sorry if I confuse anyone. I always tend to draw my heads too big, or maybe I draw the bodies too small after them. Anyways, this arm is going to mostly be behind the skirt, so we're not going to worry too much about it. But if you wanted to know how it would shape out the meat of the arm would be a little bit more under the elbow. This could possibly come up a little bit. Actually, I think it needs to come in a little bit. I'm confusing you now. I think to follow my original guide, it'll come in a little bit, and this will come over here a little bit. There we go. Matched it up a little better, and then her hand would be down here. You know, you could draw the usual, like, thumb is there, and the rest of the hand comes out like that kind of thing. But we're not going to bother. I mean, maybe we will, but not right now, because I think the skirt will go over it. But yeah, in general, you get the idea. That's the basic shape. And now we got to draw something fancy on her. So let's start. We'll draw a face so we can humanize our poor lady before we put her in some silly outfit. If this is the middle of the face, you're going to want to draw 2 eyes about eye length apart. I draw my lines here and then usually draw my eyes under them. I usually draw the tops of my eyes. You can look up proportions if you want to be very specific, but I am going to just place them about there. If you want to see the proportions, whoops, if you want to see the proportions, that's the eyes. This will be about where the nose is, and that'll be about where the mouth goes, roughly. So top of the eyes, maybe draw on like a little bridge of the nose right here. I'm going to erase this line so you can see it a little bit better. If you want to connect your nose, you can go out and down. I usually don't connect it though. I don't like the idea of it connected. I think it just gets it more of a delicate look. Draw a nostril if you want, draw a little bulbous point if you want. If you want to draw another nostril over there, you can. I'm not going to draw that one. About under her nose, we'll have the mouth. You always want to leave a little room for a chin, so we'll just kind of place it in here. In fact, I might move my nose up a little tiny bit because I kind of like the short noses. Okay, and then we can just refine the, so we have these eyes going here. Maybe we'll add some lashes to them. Bring them in a little bit here. I like to give these kind of a rounded corner. Draw the line under the hair, and I usually curve it up a bit. Same here in reverse. Erase this a little bit. I like having a little tiny line up here. You can do just like a 1 line. It's like a line for the crease of the eye. Or draw in the eyes themselves. Hello 1, hello 2. Okay, some kind of eyebrows, which I always forget for some reason, but we're not going to figure them right now. I'll have that one going down a bit. This one is going to match up with the bridge of her nose a bit, so we'll do it like that. Why not? Okay, so now that we have her features in, we can refine the shape of her face a bit. So this will come out a little bit here, like I mentioned before. And then it'll go in, and then it'll come out a little bit for her cheek. And then I'm going to curve it in right, oops, right around the nose area. You guys hopefully get my idea. You can have a little bump here for the mouth if you want, and then have your chin line up under the mouth. I guess I didn't draw the mouth in. Top little bump there, bottom little bump there. Now she has some lips. Okay, and we'll have the chin go up. I'm going to not have too square of a jaw. I always draw a square jaw and then kind of soften it. I mean, not always, but typical thing. And then we'll have the jaw stick out a little bit over here. Didn't quite get that feature in the first time. So yeah, then we have our face. If you want to draw ears, I don't know how much they're going to show. Top of the eyes, and then they kind of match up at the bottom of the nose. Something like that. Make sure they're a little more tapered down on this end. And then if you want to know my little ear secret, the jaw goes, I mean, the jawline goes there. I draw 1 line there for the shell of the ear, and then draw like this squiggly thing. And sometimes if I want to go really detailed, I'll draw that. So that's my little inner ear lines. Okay, and then her ear over here probably wouldn't be very visible. You could draw one in if you really wanted. I don't think we're going to give her hair right now because I wanted to draw a bonnet. So let's zoom out and see how it looks so far. That's the beginning of our sketch. All right, now we're going to add like bulk features for the clothes, and then we'll add some details on top of those, and she'll be looking super fancy. I'm going to shrink her down a little bit just because I'm worried about this hand fitting in. I can move her up a little bit too so we don't totally lose her out of the frame. You could also, if you're on a computer, you could always like be like, whoop, I meant it this way the whole time. But I won't do that. She looks kind of sad, and it's making me sad. Now she has a smile. I'll break that up so it doesn't look so weird. There we go. Anyways, let's sketch in the shape. So since we were working on the head, I want to get the shape of the bonnet in. I have like a little bonnet reference. So they go up like this, and then they meet around the ear. This might be a little bit weirdly rounded. Something like that. And then they go down like that. This line is no longer important. So you see the bill of the bonnet. There's a straight line here where it meets behind the head, and then we'll have the ruffle kind here, so there'll be like some kind of ruffle or something out here. Just sketch it in for the first of it. Yeah, so we get that bonnet in, and then we can draw some kind of hair shape. We'll just give her some typical, like, you know, splay bangs that go out like that, and then meet down here, and then tuck behind her cheek. My very typically drawn bangs. Give her some shape there, and then her hair can go like that. We might draw in some longer hair in the back, but I want to get some of the, I don't know, we could do something like, just to remind us what it might look like that or something. Okay, so we got that in. Let's draw in some shapes for her dress. We might want to refine, I mean, the messiness doesn't bother me, but if you're getting confused by your lines, you might want to go in and erase some of the guides that don't make sense to you anymore, are unneeded or whatever. So I'm going to do that here to help it read a little better. Let me just lasso these away. Not the perfect cleanup job, but hopefully this will keep things a little bit easier to see. Okay, so let's give her some sleeves that poof out, and then when they gather here, there could be like a ribbon with a bow or something. So the weight is going to be towards the bottom, so they kind of spring out and then go down here. We could have one that goes overlapping the ribbon, give that some weight there, and then like a third one maybe that meets up there, and the same on this one that goes, starts at the top and then it poofs out, and then the weight is here, so it kind of comes in this way, and I'm gonna fix that a little bit like that. And then the same kind of thing here where you have the poofy thing here, and then another one, and this one will be going over a little bit like so. There we go. Nice poofy sleeve. This one didn't really get out. I want like an indent here and then a bit of a bellow up here like that. So I'm just gonna go back and touch that up a bit. I might have to move this in now too. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit with my computer. You guys will have to forgive me. I want this middle one to line up with the arm, and I think I should have fixed up my arm a little bit. Hopefully not too confusing, but anyways, yeah, so we get the bellows down here. I'll lengthen them. I almost said shrink them. I'll lengthen them here so they match up that one. We can clean all this up later. It's not too big a deal. And this time I'll draw the ribbon area after. I'm gonna stay as zoomed out as I can for the bulk stuff, and then I'll zoom in and we'll do some details. Okay, so next let's do some frilly things. I'll show you how to detail ruffles in a minute. For now, let's kind of block shape them in. If we're gonna have a collar, the idea of the collar would be like that, right? But I'm actually going to ruffle these. So for now, we'll just do like a couple little things here, and I'll show you the idea behind that. So let me just draw it in, and then I'll kind of go over how, I mean, this is just sketched in. These aren't perfect ruffles. But the idea behind how ruffles will work. Okay, so if you have ruffles, I'm actually going to do it in this way because this is kind of in reverse, but it's a little bit easier to remember. If you have like a ruffled skirt like this, you're going to want the bins on this side of the view to go this way, and the bins on this side to go this way, and then the middle you can just usually do something like, you know, not quite that extreme, but like a horseshoe shape. So maybe we get, let's squeeze one more bend in here. So the general idea is it's kind of like if you had like a shape like this, you'll want the ruffles viewable that way, and then they will match up wherever there's an outward bend. It will have a straight line up. This one will have them going in like a cone shape. Pretend this is the ultimate waist, and that's what I'm drawing up to, the waist, like a waist or a sleeve end or something. Yeah, so we'll have those go up, and then you come in, and any little indent ones will also match that kind of similar shape, and there's your basic ruffles. And this one would be in reverse, so instead of you know, down and then like that, we're gonna do it in reverse up. So we're gonna have them like this, if that makes sense, you know. All right. That's my very quick ruffle tutorial. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Feel free to leave me comments if it was. We'll draw a bow in here too, like a little loose bow, I think. So there's two ways to draw bows. I'm gonna draw this in again, and then I'll talk about the idea of drawing bows. So let's have it like that, and maybe we'll have, yeah, something like that. Okay, so for bows, if they're loose, the knot of the bow is always going to be the smallest part because it's the like pulled in ribbon. It's got a lot of tension. It's got, you know, shrinkage because of it. And then if you're drawing a loose bow like I did, they won't peak up. So you'll just kind of draw two loops around there like that, and then you can have one match up. These ribbons have to match up where the knot is. Like so, since this one's so wide, you could have a little bit of an area in there too. Let me zoom in. So So you could have this come down and then the bottom part go up, and it's got a meat kind of in where that is. This one comes out. Let's make it like a little more square. Yeah, so that's a little bit more of a loose bow. You can add little embellishments, and if you want to do tags, the tags will line up with the knot again, so you'll want to think about that when you're drawing them. It might look weird if you draw the tag right under the knot, because it wouldn't match up. But yeah, so that's the how to do the loose bows. I'll go over the more puffy bows when we get to them. Yeah, so we have a bow here. Let's do a thing like that for the shirt. Like let's do a double thing. I'm so good at describing stuff. Button rail. I don't know why is rail what came to mind. I'm trying to think of a specific word, but I'm really bad at thinking of words. Anyways, you know, buttons would go here. So try to keep them about the same space apart, roll them out. It's just sketch them in for now. Yeah, and then on either side of this, we could do a little bit of a frilly thing. Like maybe we'll have a frill, actually, so let's have a little, like a frill apron thing that goes this way before I commit to that. Hopefully no one minds me changing that a little bit here. So we'll have these go up like that. And I'm gonna give these some weight by making them puff up a little bit over the shoulder area. And I'm gonna go in and detail these properly later. I'm gonna erase this because I decided I don't want you. But the, you know, the general idea is that these would have these little mini peaks kind of going into the shoulder area. You'd get the ones underneath. Sorry if I'm missing any. I don't want to zoom in and confuse people. I might go back and make something like that to make that so it breaks up that really long space there. Yeah, and then you can have a few, you can do a little bit of peaks, bump things, texture things there, and have some lines come out, usually in a V shape from like tension areas. So if you have your fabric, that was terrible. So if you have your fabric and it's bent like that, the wrinkled areas are going to be where the tension are. So the, you know, stuff will go in the V shape and then it'll get looser down here. If that makes sense. Okay, so she's got her little apron frill, and then I want some side frills, and these are just gonna kind of go in and out like that. They don't have to be as shaped as the gravity ones. They'll just be like and then the idea will be, as you work through them, you'll still again have some go up, some go down, whatever looks right. When I do my final inking, I might go in and clean these up a bit. I'm just trying to hopefully get kind of the idea of these for you. Oops. Pretty much the general idea is anywhere you have like this that sticks up, you'll want, let me erase that a little bit. You'll want a line there to kind of extenuate it. Extenuate it? What's the word? Add a few in the middle. I'm done trying to speak. I'm a dum-dum. Yeah, so now we got some frills there. That looks nice. Let's add kind of a waist belt thing here. Have something like so. And then the shirt, if anywhere we're scrunching up fabric, we'll have the fabric be kind of wrinkled, or, you know, you can't have it perfectly tucked in. It's gonna pull out as you move around. So we'll add that shirt. I'll add a few wrinkles now. I don't know. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining this, am I? So I'm kind of making these like stacked moments where the fabric is been pulled out but is now kind of bunched in like that, and then that's where the waist thing is. And then anywhere those are, you'll have some wrinkles. You can do like the loop wrinkles or something just around that area. You could have a few, if you really wanted her to be wrinkly, you could add like a few here and, you know, accentuate the wrinkles. I guess we could do that, why not? So like I did this and I followed that line down and did that. Try not to make your lines all super matchy. If you break them up, they look a little bit more like they're just present there without being like solid, if that makes sense. I'm sure it doesn't. Anyways, let's kind of fix this area up too. Yeah, so there she goes. She can have some extra wrinkles there. Let's add like a little ribbon here, since we gave her some bulk on her waist, her torso or whatever. Let's add a little ribbon here, and then we can kind of explain some of the bulkiness. And then we're gonna have these peaks over here again, like breaking up the fabric, like the fabric, I mean breaking up the ribbon, like the fabric's being you know, spilled over. And then where those peaks are, we're gonna have some lines, and we're gonna try to kind of follow that curve shape. I'm kind of making this design up as I go, so I hope I'm explaining things as they're made. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'm gonna add a little wrinkle like that there too. Anyway, so now we have this belt, and I'm gonna have the fabric of her skirt. In theory, it's like bunched here, and then it goes woof, and then bunched here, and then it goes woof. Oops, let's put it out nice and puffy. Something like that. I'm going to do the unthinkable and erase the legs. I knew your legs weren't gonna show. But yeah, we had the general idea of where they were. You can add a few longer puffs if you want. I'm going to add bows over here, by the way, so you guys know. I decided that right now, but okay, so same thing here where you have the fabric kind of bunch up and over. You can have a few lines of that. Doesn't have to be perfected. It doesn't have to go over everywhere. Just some like mountain type peaks. And then they can connect up. They don't have to be as extreme as I'm making them either. They can just be like little ones. And then you can have woof and woof. I don't know why I'm barking. I don't want this hand here either. I'm gonna erase that. It's gonna go behind her skirt. Okay, so we'll have the same kind of, we're just gonna have a pretty simple, easy to draw dress. And then I'm gonna go and break these lines up so they don't match up, so they're not quite so solid. Gives it a little bit more area. We'll just make a simple skirt. You can come in and add some more bunched up stuff there. Something like that. Yeah, okay. And then we're gonna have these big bows on the side here, and this one is gonna be a little foreshortened. So this one will go like this. I'm gonna actually shrink the middle part in because it's more tight, and then the outside will go like this. I'm gonna draw these in, and then I'll go over bows again in just a second. We'll draw this one like this, same kind of perspective, and that will go out like this. This one will be here. So it's kind of this is stacked. This middle part is stacked on the back of this part, which I have a little more of a point to. And then this front part sticks in front of all of them. Didn't quite get the shape right on that one. It's okay. It's because it needs to match up to this, and I overdrew it. So if I fix that, it'll look a little bit better. Okay. So, and then we can have some woofs and some woofs. Oops, maybe like that. And some woofs and some woofs. Again, that should stand probably a little bit under the bow. That's the general idea. We'll have some ribbons going over. I'm not going to detail them now because they'll get in the way. I'm going to draw some little shapes here, kind of distinguish that they're being compressed. So generally just kind of like either I draw a lot of hook ones like here, or if you're going in reverse, you'll want to draw like the hook the other way. Something like that for these inner bows. And then we can add a little stack here where the top of them is, and over here. Let's get a little messy. I hope you guys can see. I don't want to zoom in quite yet. I guess I can zoom in. I don't know. I'm used to when I record, I try not to zoom in because it makes people feel sick if you speed it up. So yeah, you get the gist. Yeah, I got all the excuses. Actually, I don't want that one to curve that way. I want it to curve out like that. So there we go. Bows. I'll erase the back area and they'll look a little bit nicer. This one I've half erased anyways. Okay. We could add a bow in the front too, except I've kind of messed up the spacing. I can fix this. Let's move this bow here. We'll pretend that I erased it and fixed it. Like so. And then we'll move this bow over. I might just have to redraw because it's already a little misshapen. But we can kind of move it over like that. It's just a sketch. I can fix it when I do the line. So maybe it would line up right about there. And then we'll have a bow in the middle here. And it's going to be touching these two a little bit. I'm going to draw it off to the side so you guys can see it. And then I'll move it in so I'm not cramming it in on all the sketches. So the middle line, again, for these poofy bows is the most taunt line. You can even draw like some taunt mark in it or something. And then if it has like the poofy structure, it's going to go up and over like a triangle. Same thing over here, up and over a little bit like a triangle, but like, you know, that. Okay, and then we're going to have an area here where you can see the top of the ribbon, maybe a little bit area like that. And you'll want these a little bit rounded. I think the pointy would look odd, so I would round these edges a tiny bit. And then again, if you're drawing a tail or whatever for the bow, you're going to want it to match up with the run out of room. Match up with the center tie mark, so something like that. Maybe I'll make these shorter. Maybe I've made these too long. Maybe I have some regrets about it. I'll go in and fix it later. It's not a big deal. But yeah, we can just have little bows like that. So move this one to the center. Oh, I gotta erase. Yeah, I started this one. Erase that. I'm gonna move it to the center, and I'll probably shrink it down to match the others. One thing I forgot to do, I'll show you real quick. And you can put this on another layer if you're working on a computer and erase it and then merge it. But since it's a messy sketch time, I don't mind. Okay, and then we want to do again the hooks or some kind of strain for the thing. And if you're going to do the hook in reverse this way, you could do it like that. Maybe add a little line, oops, down there just to show the tension. So there we go. We have bows and ruffles. We have a bonnet. I actually didn't finish the bonnet. Let's come up here and add like a little tie to the bonnet. So we're going to do another bow up here like we just did. A big fluffy bow and a big fluffy over here. Erase the back area. come up and go like that, come up and go like that, and down, and like that maybe, and like that. Okay, and her hair can be behind there. I don't know what we're gonna do with her hair. Maybe we'll just have it come all the way out. I was thinking about doing something behind that. For now, we'll just add, I'm just swooping out like she's got waves, and then like when that line ends, I come in like that. Messy wavy hair design. Okay, erase her face there because it's behind the bow. All right, yeah, we can just restructure this. Maybe I'll come in and do little things here. You could do this will go behind her hair. You could do like another ruffle thing here. Just kind of quickly place this in. That could connect to the top. Might be kind of nice. You could even put ruffles on the inside if you wanted. Make little ruffles here for her, and then of course you'll eventually go in and connect these up and refine them how you want. Just put them in for the sketch. Yeah, so then this will be, when you're inking and coloring, this will be the color of the bow that matches down here. Okay, so I think that's about it. I'll draw her hand in while we're at it. I'll kind of go over it. This is a weird angle, but her arm might go over a bit like that, so you'll see the meat of it there, and then her elbow might have a little more shape by giving her wider arm meat there, and then go in here and then go up a bit like that. And I might refine that a little bit more when I ink it. The idea behind hands, if this is her wrist, usually you can break a hand into a kind of paddle like that, and then figure out like if the thumb's going to be on this side or if the thumb's going to be on that side, and then once you decide where your thumb is, then your fingers kind of follow this shape. So your middle finger is the longest, and then your first finger, and then I can just draw it in very roughly. So the middle finger, first finger, ring finger, and then pinky finger. We'll go a bit like that, and then you know, you can detail them out. That's the general idea behind hand shape. Hopefully that's not too messy. I can read it in my mind. I don't know if it reads to other people. So I've already kind of drawn this in, but her thumb is here and her hand will be like this, so that something like that for the idea of the shape. So her thumb goes here, her first finger will go over here. We can draw in that. So yeah, we'll draw the fingers in. So if this is where they connect, you can draw like skeletal ones in here. So this is like to the first joint, and then that one goes up. The middle one might come up like that. Ring finger probably will overlap a little bit, and then we'll get to the pinky, and that'll probably bend in a bit like that. And then we just need to kind of refine the hand a little bit more. I think I need to have this come out a little bit here. We'll draw the finger, and then we'll bring it down, and then we'll bring it in. It's good if you can to add a webbing in between. Since these are stacked, you're not going to see the webbing. I've run out of space again. You guys will have to forgive me. But hopefully you can see this, and then the pinky will go like this. It'll probably come in a little bit messy, but we have a hand down, and now we can refine it and whatnot. The pinky will, from this angle, you'll see a bit like that. Yeah, and then bring this in a little bit, give this a little more shape. Just kind of keep refining it. I know this isn't the best hand tutorial. I have done some hand tutorials out there. Maybe I'll link one now if I remember. We will see if I remember. Okay, so we get the general idea, and then the palm is there. So yeah, there we go. She has a hand. I'll have to refine that when I do the inking, but you hopefully get the idea. Okay, so that's about it. I have all the, you know, now that I think about it, she looks a lot like Bo Peep. I think her hand would look better holding a shepherd's hook. I'll have to think of that when I do the inking. Maybe I'll change it, but hopefully that clears it up. I know this is a little bit messy. I'm going to show you the final ink version in 3, 2, 1, wha-bam! Hopefully you've drawn your own, but maybe you just liked watching me draw it instead, which is fine. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm gonna end it here and end your suffering of me rambling. I hope you had fun. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or evening or any time in between. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.